So this is not shocking at all, right? Is that the Panthers called the Bengals to check on the availability of T. Higgins. You know, I feel like, and this goes for every single team, not just the Carolina Panthers here, but every single team tries to improve their team every single day, right? That's the point. You, as a head coach, a GM, whatever, you only get a limited amount of time as that spot for your team, right? So your job is to always try to, reach out to other teams and see, hey, is there a chance we could maybe get somebody, especially if a guy's on a contract year, a guy, is potentially, having problems. I'm not saying T is, but I'm saying in general, you always, as a GM or coach, try to reach out and try to figure something out for that said player. So again, like I said, it's not really that shocking at all. And I think everyone will call about everyone except for probably Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, probably Josh Allen too. Like the main quarterbacks, no one really calls about because it's pretty obvious. Like, listen, they're not going to trade the main quarterbacks. But there are quarterbacks outside the top three there who have been called about by different teams. I know when Trevor Lawrence was having a kind of an iffy rookie season under Urban Meyer, there was people who called about Trevor Lawrence potentially getting traded. There is always that situation. Now, of course, what the other side does is how this conversation gets started or, continues, right? So, for example, sometimes there are times where teams will talk back, have conversations. Okay, well, what would you give up? What's the potential? That gets leaked to the media and it becomes a firestorm of, well, no, this team wants to trade this player. Even if the team just simply said, like, listen, if you want to trade for this guy, it's 5 first round picks, 7 first round picks, something outrageous, right? If you even entertain the offer as a team, you are looked on as you are doing your player a discredit. You are, shopping your player. So that's why a lot of teams, when they get the call like this, they say, hey, okay, yeah, thanks, man, I appreciate it. Goodbye. And that's exactly what we did when we got calls about T. Higgins. I know there has been rumors / speculations of potentially what if we did go ahead and trade T. Higgins, right? Especially as the season goes along, get closer and closer to the deadline. There's more talks about this because of the fact that he's on his contract year. We have to pay him, we got to pay Jamar Chase, where we have the money. Here's the thing about this team right now, especially, again, like I said before, with the idea, because I promise you one thing, Panthers are not the only team that contacted us about T. Higgins. Guarantee you the Giants probably called us, the Jets at one point might have called us, you name a team, and they probably called us. Probably all 31 other teams called us at one point for T. Higgins. Maybe not the Ravens, Steelers, or Browns because they know better. Every other team has called us, right? But again, how you respond is really how, everything is dictated. And also, by the way, how you respond is also helps out in contract negotiations. Because you can use that as leverage on the player saying, hey, listen, blank team called us, and we said no. We said we're not going to listen because we want you on this team. But back to my original point, though, there's all this talks and speculation while he's on the final year of his contract. You should get rid of him. You should trade him. You should do something. Listen, guys, this team this year, our main purpose every year is to go win a Super Bowl, right? To have as many great players on this roster as we humanly possibly can before they have to leave because of money. Jesse Bates, Von Bell, Hayden Hurst, etc., right? They left us because of money. You want to win with as many good, talented players as possible. Well, yes, you like to look toward your future, and looking toward your future is always a good thing, right? It's always a good thing in football because football is so quick-paced, players only last so long, that you need to kind of have a gear toward the future of what you're going to do. But at the end of the day, again, your goal is to win the Super Bowl. And this year, we have a squad that can go win a Super Bowl. So if we do anything to take away from the squad we have, outside of freak injuries that happen in football that, no one can control / go with, right? There is no reason at all we should be getting rid of anybody. That's why I will still say a million bazillion times here, I think us cutting La'el Collins was a mistake. I think it was. I trust the ownership. I trust the higher-ups. I trust Duke Tobin, Zach Taylor, and Katie Blackburn. I trust them that they know what they're doing. But I think if you're going to cut La'el Collins when, you already don't only have offensive line depth, and that's something that was a problem last year, you can't do that. But again, like I said, we haven't picked anyone else up. We haven't traded for anyone. So maybe they have a idea or a thought in the future, or they truly trust the guys behind him. Cody Ford, Dante Smith, etc., right? But at the same time, though, again, like I said, we're focused on winning a Super Bowl. Not a lot of teams are like that, by the way, because not a lot of teams have the opportunity we have as a Super Bowl window right now. A lot of teams, they're looking like, okay, we're not going to win the Super Bowl this year, so we might as well get something from a player who might potentially be leaving. Keep in mind also, if T did leave in free agency and we didn't franchise tag him, which we could franchise tag him and sign for $25 million next year. If we don't do any of that, right, and he just leaves in free agency, goodbye, have a great day, whatever, we still get a third-round compensatory pick for him. So just keep that in mind. No matter what, we get a third-round pick for him. All right, and we might even get more than a third-round pick based on, his value of receiver. But if we look at his value in the trade chart on overthecap.com, I hate this website when it comes to this trading chart / thing, because for some reason they always rank T. Higgins at $2.1 million, which just for key purposes here, ranks him at the equivalent of a 6th-round pick. That pretty much what that equates to, which, again, like we know, that is absolutely outrageous. If you're going to trade T. Higgins, right, and if you're realistically speaking, right, Panthers here, you're like, we want T. Higgins. Here's what you would have to give up. 3 firsts, at least. Actually, I think they don't have 3 firsts. Alright, see, we wouldn't even talk then. I want 3 firsts. I don't want 2 firsts. I want 3 firsts. And that's how we're going to start talking. It's 3 first-round picks. And then you're going to continue speaking, right? But let's say the hypothetical universe. 2 firsts, a second, and then a third. I would also want a 4th. And I don't think this is asking... Oh, sorry, I want another second. I don't think it's asking for too much either. Because at the end of the day, again, like I said, this is how good T. Higgins is. When he's fully healthy, 100%, he's a top 10 receiver in the NFL. If you want a top 10 receiver, when Tyreek Hill was traded for what? 2 firsts, I think, was it 1 or 2 seconds and a third? Like, that's really what I would ask for. Like, if I'm asking for T. Higgins right now, this is what I'm asking for. But again, like I said, at the end of the day, you can get all these draft picks, right? All these players. Be super excited about this. But how does that help us this season? How does that change anything this season when we're in the AFC Championship game and we need offensive line depth? Or we're in the AFC Championship game and we need a game-winning play to happen and we're down, 3rd and 10. These concepts, ideas. Draft picks are great to trade a player for draft picks and then you have the future. But we live in the now. We don't live in the future, right? You want to plan for the future, but you also want to have an idea of how you're going to win right now. Because as coaches, GMs, etc., players too, you can always think toward the future, and the future is good. But guess what? There's one thing in the NFL that is not 100% certified here, and that's your job. Well, yes, there is, you're a quarterback when you get paid as much money as Joe did. You're kind of certified that you have your job for the foreseeable future. But everybody else, you don't guarantee anything in life, especially not your job when it comes to the NFL. NFL coaches, players, teams have moved on from them very, very, very quickly. So you win now, you smart about the future, but you win now. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.